This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, now we can start the meeting. Thank you so much, Robert, for staying on top of me. That was, oh, geez. Yeah, we'd have gotten 20 minutes into this meeting, and I go, oh crap, I forgot to record. So thank you so much for reminding me of my important responsibility. See, I need a tech here. I need a video tech kind of sitting back in the background there behind the this Zoom background that's taking care of those kinds of details for me. So anyway, yeah, welcome everybody to the February meeting of the Seattle Robotics Society. And I'm glad that you are all here today, and we shall proceed with our usual agenda items, which I'm not going to bring back up because you already know all that stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and march on to the rest of the stuff here. No new developments regarding the facility for in-person meetings. However, there's the address for it. If somebody wanted to grab that address and make a Google link out of it, you could go ahead and do that and throw it into the chat. This address will get you to the entrance to the, let's see, how would you say it? These are warehouses, and so you've got this huge wide driveway-like thing or alleyway thing that big semis can drive down. And the first WA facility is basically all the way at the back, almost to the railroad tracks. So as you're driving around this area, you'll cross railroad tracks. And so when you get to this address, you're actually going to be sitting out on the street. And then you want to turn and head east and go almost all the way to the back, and then close to the back. The next to the last facility on the right will be the office, and we're hoping perhaps in June, and will probably be Lloyd and others who will actually end up running the meetings, and or I should say at least setting things up. Probably setting up and at least somewhat running. I could also do it remotely using Zoom. So depending on how we work that out. So we haven't really figured all that out yet, but the website will have updates. Let's see. On the my son has been he kind of finally he helps me with stuff having to do with the Okay, thank you. Yeah, this is Connor. Yeah, thank you, Connor. Some of the old content on the old website. So if you know how to get to that up, and when you bring up the main page, there's an announcement box that has a link that will take you to the old website, and it'll also take you to the encoder. Well, the encoder content goes way back, and some of that stuff is written in original like HTML3, I think, some of the stuff that's on there, because it was done very long time ago. But anyway, if you happen to get an error 404, which of course is file page not found, because occasionally you'll find things out on the web where people are referencing back to the encoder. And if they, we call it archive.seattlerobotics.org is now the actual address of the encoder and the old website. So if you go directly to the second link here on the screen, that will take you to the old website and the encoder in the old website. If you just take the encoder off of there, you'll get to the old website. Anyway, so sometimes what you can do is you can just tweak the link in their reference by replacing the www with archive. He has set up some redirection that seems to work most of the time. We found that a lot of things actually go where they're supposed to go, so after he put it in place, things that were broken before stopped being broken. So that was pretty cool, but it might not always work. So if you do happen to find something, if you're kind of wandering around there, you find something that just doesn't work, just send me an email. And we'll see if we can do something about that. See if there's some kind of if it's kind of a systemic thing that we can fix at a higher level. I'm not particularly interested in going into every link and every reference and trying to fix those, one by one, because there's probably hundreds, if not thousands of them. And I don't have the time or the patience to do that. So, but we want to try to help people find what they're looking for, at least if it's there. So anyway, keep that in mind. As you know, some of you heard earlier, unfortunately it wasn't on the recording when I was telling you about it, but we have moved to Idaho. So we live in Caldwell. This is a view of looking over Caldwell behind me here. One of the view that we get to look at pretty much every night. So it's amazing how, when you have a sunset view and you realize that, it's different every night. It's really awesome. And that's something that we really love. And it helps ease the pain of how much money we've spent on fixing up this 60-year-old house that we bought here. So we just, in fact, something I didn't mention earlier, we just put a water softening system in the house, which, for 60-year-old house here in Idaho, it should have had one decades ago, but nobody previously had ever done that. So we did it. And that's another $4,500 that we had to drop on the place, but it should it'll make a huge difference in a lot of things. Plus, filter chlorine out of the water, because they put a lot of chlorine in the water here, and and for some people, my wife and daughter in particular, it irritates their skin when they take showers and baths and things like that. So getting that out of the water is a good thing, and then getting the minerals, the heavy mineral content out of the water will help with a lot of other things. The stuff on toilet rings and bathtub rings and shower stuff, and all the things, if you're familiar with the effects of hard water. So I'm planning to just kind of continue to do most of the things that I currently do, just doing them remotely here, since once in a while we will come back to Washington. My 3 sons still live there, so we will be back there from time to time, but it's 500 miles, so it's a long drive. And yeah, the whole joy of home owner bondage. Yeah. Being being spanked randomly for no reason. I love that. Yes, indeed. It seems like every time you turn around, there's something else. And so, yeah, there's always excuses to spend more money. It doesn't seem like it's like you feel like, okay, we're kind of getting on top of things, and then something else pops up. And so, yes. So anyway, but we are loving it here. We really enjoy the area, and the people here are amazing. I miss you guys. Miss those in-person meetings and stuff. And I wish if I ever have occasion to be in town over a weekend with an SRS meeting, I will certainly be there. So, but
500 miles isn't far, Steve. It's not much further than I drive. I
know. It's not terrible. And we're actually going to do it. We're going to do it in April. Well, let's see, March or April. Yeah, we're planning on doing it at least once or twice here before mid-year. So yeah, I mean, we'll be doing it, and it's a long day, but yeah, you're right. It's like it's not that bad. So I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying, it's kind of like, yeah, it's a lot of time sitting in a car, and it's hard on the fanny. My Leaf, I'm not sure whether I would want to do that with my Leaf. I have a Leaf with a 62 kilowatt battery, so about a little over 200 mile range. Yeah, you can do it. It's just, it takes a little more time to do it with an electric car, because would take probably 2 to 3 stops to get there. And a gas car, I stop once and fuel halfway through, and then I'm there. So probably do it with the the gas car, the CO2 generator. So let's see, we're planning to, okay, I guess I got my slides a little bit out of sequence. When we do in-person meetings, we are planning to continue hybrid meetings. So those of you that prefer to log in remotely should still be able to do so. And then of course, obviously recording the meetings as well. So, this will hopefully be a good thing for anybody that's not a local or has a very long drive like Richard does, and, only on occasion actually makes it in person to a meeting. So, let's see here. My classes, I haven't had any students this time around, but, we've got some other things planning. We're planning a trip to Israel here in a couple of months, so I'm not sure I want to really start another class sequence yet. But anyway, this is something I have a special email address on the screen here that if you know somebody in that 10 to 13 age range who might be interested in a class like this, their price, the price for the 6-week class is 100 and right now it's 169. I might drop that a little bit, maybe 159 or something like that. But and then also you have to buy the kit, which last night when I looked on the website, it was $179 for this Ranger kit. So, it's like a $300 to $400 thing for 6 weeks, hour a week robotics session for kids. So keep that in mind. Just some things that I think some of these things are, if not all of them, were mentioned last month. So nothing new here, but there's going to be an event, Battling Robotics, Monroe. So that's a combat robots. And then also a national championship. These are actual links, and these slides will be posted. So you can go in and follow these links if you want to see the specific details. Robot Events is a generic nationwide event, has contests, has the VEX challenge, first challenges, junior robot, Lego League, junior robotics, all that stuff is all linked off of that website. Robo Games 2023 in Pleasanton, California. And then Snowco Makerspace, who does, I think they actually get together weekly up there. So and even between weekends. So if you're looking for something to kind of fill in, feel free. I think their monthly meetings, I believe, are second Saturdays.
First Saturday.
First Saturday. Okay, thanks, Charles Chess. Yeah, so first Saturday of the month. So they don't conflict with this one. So keep that in mind. And of course, you can talk to Chaz about details about that. He's actively involved in that group. Let's see, Robothon, upcoming events. Say, Donna, do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So, but first, before I start on that, I wanted to comment about the Snowco Robot Club meetings. In addition to the option for us here in Seattle to visit in Everett the actual events, we can also, correct me if I'm wrong, Chaz, about this, but we can also join via online. So they do have a virtual option as well through Zoom. So yeah, that's also a cool way to join in with that group. So on to Robothon items. We have planned for this calendar year so far. We've got 2 primary robot contest event type things planned. The first one is planned for June the 10th, which will be a virtual robo exhibition type event, which is similar to what we've been having the last few rounds of events during COVID times. And nothing formal yet for any of this has been announced, other than that I do have basic info up on robothon.org for these. But anyway, it's going to be a virtual robo exhibition event. Okay. The second event is going to be for September the 9th, and that's going to be a in-person event. And it's going to be an all outdoor event where we're going to have our Robo Magellan contest run. And it's going to be at a local elementary school. Great, fantastic location for running such a contest. And we are also planning on having at least one other lower entry scale type contest, say for instance, line maze or mini sumo, that type of thing, that will be run also on that day. So we are calling it Robo Magellan Plus. And again, that is planned for September the 9th. And all of that is still being worked as far as the confirmation of the location. It's going to be at Sunnycrest Elementary School, which is in the Federal Way School District. It's a public school. And thank you to whomever just put that link in the chat for the school information. So that's basically all that I've got, Steve, on Robothon updates.
All right. Thank you, Donna. Oh, let's see. I guess I should, let me see here. Are there any questions? Anybody have any specific questions regarding this stuff?
Donna, is there interest in having some of the new challenge that you designed there?
I'm sorry, what was the question, Chaz?
You know that new challenge that you designed?
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, that's a very good point.
That's a great entry point.
It is. I agree. Okay, so I will go ahead and inform Lloyd and the rest of the team for planning on that need to be including that for that day. Thank you for that's a good point.
Just curious. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a good one.
And Donna takes care of the Robothon website. So if there, is anything on there that you have a question about, you can reach out to her. And I think there's a contact link on the website for you, isn't there, Donna?
I'm not sure. I'll go ahead. I'll put that on my to-do list here to add that. Okay. That's a good point. Okay.
You can, if you want to just reach out to the Seattle Robotics Society at Gmail, I can forward that to Donna in the meantime. So if she should get something on there to be able to.
Well, I'll make sure that that's posted up today. Okay.
Okay. Awesome. Right. Thank you.
Okay.
Presenters. Thank you, Robert, for a whole bunch of more work for me. He's really good at keeping me busy, so he kind of feeds me a steady stream of potential presenters. So most of the presentations that you guys have seen probably for the last year and a half have been people that Robert has come up with. So thank you, Robert, for your diligent research and finding interesting people to talk to us. And go ahead and just send me information, and they can be international even. Our presenter today is, I believe he was in Japan in November when he was supposed to present. Now I understand he's back home again. He should be in Spain, which is 9 hours ahead of us. So that will still puts an early evening for him when he would be doing his presentation, but it's a reasonable time. So there's a kind of a window over there. As you go east from there a few hours, you'll find that there's a time zone where we either have to shift our meeting or we're going to be asking them to do a presentation in the middle of the night and for them. And it's like, okay, I'd really rather not do that. Appreciate people wanting to talk to us, but not at 3 o'clock in the morning, so. So if necessary, we could, if there was somebody that we really wanted to have, we might do like we did with the Japanese presenter we had last year, where we shifted our meeting to the afternoon to give him a better, essentially a morning time slot. So anyway, I figure that out if, depending on who we get. So anyway, just send stuff to Seattle Robotics Society at Gmail, and I'll follow up with it. Oh shoot, this is the slide I forgot to update. I still have Professor Goldman on there. Professor Goldman was not able to be with us today because of he's got some kind of a family emergency situations, and so he's had to kind of pull way back from his stuff. So we're going to have instead Ricardo Tellez, who was going to present last November, wasn't able to because he was traveling. But he agreed to fill in today. So I'm hoping to get Professor Goldman to take the June time slot, and then Ricardo is taking today's time slot. So those two are just trading places. So I'll let you do the mental gyrations on this slide to make that happen. And so, doggone it. You know what? No, this is weird. This is really weird. I fixed this. I know I fixed this. I'll tell you. Okay, I've got a slide for. Yeah, I'll bring it up later. Okay. So anyway, I won't go into that. I have this, I put Ricardo's slide in there. I thought for sure I put it in his presentation. I don't know why why that popped up, because I moved it. Anyway, Ricardo Tellez, so he will be up later. Next month, we are planning to do, Lloyd Moore is going to facilitate a session, a presentation of whatever it turns out to be with ChatGPT. And if you've been watching the tech news lately, that and other competing products have been in the news a lot lately, and a lot of interesting things that people have been doing with it. Some of them borderline creepy. And so I'll let anyway, we'll store up those questions for next month and those comments, because it should be a fun discussion. And then there's a variety of other kinds of things here. We can love to have some open forum discussions on some of these other topics. So keep anything like this in mind. If you have suggestions beyond this list, send them to me, and I'll be happy to add them in. And and then after the meeting, we will continue with post-meeting discussions, so whatever. I won't be able to hang around for a lot of it. I have some things, my wife and I are going to watch our grandnephews, so I'm going to have to leave, but I can leave the Zoom meeting up until everybody is done. So I might just need to pass the hosting on to somebody else. And then, if it doesn't go on for very long, maybe I'll just close it out. But anyway, but we don't typically record those because they're just kind of all over the place. So the topics can be anything, and you don't have to sweat about stuff being recorded and posted out on the World Wide Web. So, okay. Wow. Oh man. I've been rambling a lot here. Sorry about that. I have some things that I can throw up if nobody has anything in particular they want to share about, but I'm hoping that you guys have stuff that you want to share, or whatever. I see Greg is here, so love to hear if you've got something new updates on your projects.
I have a couple little things. Have taken a little bit of time off from the robot, but getting back into it. The one hardware change that I've made so far, in controlling the robot and having it go and reach for the can, there was a point where I realized I needed to use the vision system to see where the hand was in space to get a little bit closer to the can. And I put on the hand, I put a couple blue stickers on these 2 points on the gripper, but that was very sensitive to lighting conditions. So the gripper has been updated now so that instead of using a couple stickers, it now uses a couple LEDs, which we'll see here real quick. You can see them light up there. So when I power it up, it just, in its self-test, it lights those up. So that should remedy that, hopefully. In terms of product review, this is not really so much a review, but for those that aren't aware of this product, it is it's a time of flight camera. It's got a resolution of 100 by 100 time of flight. It's got a built-in processor, and it's got a little screen on the back, and it's doing a color map on the distances. Now, obviously, if you're going to use that in a project, you don't really need that little screen on the back, but it's kind of fun to play with. It was about $30. I got it from Seed Studio, and I will put the URL here in chat. And then the only other update, one of the other things that I encountered in trying to locate the fridge and get the can out of the fridge was that the fridge is black, and the RealSense camera that I'm using, it uses visual light, but when there's an object that has no texture to it, it can't use the stereo vision to see how far away that is. So you can turn on an infrared emitter, which then puts a pattern on that surface, which it can then use to do the stereo vision. But the black door of the refrigerator absorbs the infrared. So then the refrigerator was still invisible. This little camera had the same problem. I'm pretty sure what it's doing is it's got what looks like a camera and then what looks like an LED. So I'm pretty confident that the LED is sending out infrared, pulses, and then the camera is measuring how long it takes those rays to get back. It also did not see the black refrigerator. The solution to that problem is spray paint the refrigerator door white. And I just reassembled it here this morning, and this small camera can see it. So I'm feeling confident that the Real Sense will be able to see the door as well. So that's it.
Could you do a little demo for us? So take that camera. It's working right now, right? It's actually operating.
It's on, yeah.
And take it and hold the screen close to your camera and point the thing towards you. So we can see, get it kind of close enough that we can see what it's showing. That's really cool. I love that. Okay. So go ahead and say something so Zoom switches back to you.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, see if I can hold it still, then you guys would have a better. So like I said, the camera on the back, I mean, it's fun for demonstration purposes. It has a USB-C interface as well as a TTL serial interface. Now, that's obviously a lot of data, 100 by 100 by, it's 8-bit resolution. So it's essentially giving you centimeters, out to 200 and it's actually beyond 256. Because if I look at this little screen, it's got some numbers on it, and it's got a little, little plus right in the middle. And as I point it at different things, it will give me the distance, 132 centimeters, so on. And I've seen it go as high as like 270. So it must be 270 to, and I don't know what the closest is. About 20 centimeters, 15 centimeters. And like I said, it was about $30.
That's incredible. 30 bucks. Good grief. Okay. Thank you, Greg. Anybody else? Going once, going twice. Sold. Okay.
Is Donna
right,
talking? Talking.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Go ahead, Doug.
No, I was just. I think Donna was talking, but she was muted.
Oh, was she?
Thanks for asking, Doug. But no, I was not intending to talk. I may have looked like I was mouthing something, but it was unintentional. Okay.
Okay. Let's see here. So let me see here. Okay, let's see. Okay. I see what I did here. I'm going to. All right, I'm going to go back to take that and share. And I'm going to put that at there. There you go. So I really did have the slide. I left Professor Goldman's slide further up my slideshow, and then I have this one in there. So it's like, okay, I actually do had a slide. I knew I put it in there. Just couldn't remember where I put it. So, and then I put that nifty little clock on it there. When we get to the point where we're ready for a break, I'll call a time to be back, and so you can just you can use that for reference. I don't see our presenter online yet, so I'm hopeful that he's. I did send him an email, so I'm hopeful that he'll be jumping on soon. But he might not come on. He might not jump on until it's actually time. So, because I told him 11 a.m. Your time. Now I do apologize. The time on there is Mountain Time. So if you're kind of wondering about that, yeah, it's the clock is actually that extension, that Chrome extension takes the local time from my computer and puts it into a clock. So that's why it's saying an hour later than it actually is for you guys. But that's, I'm not aware that there's an easy way for me to fix that. So we'll just take it as it is. Let's see. All right. So where have I got? Okay. So that's going
on. There's Mountain Standard Time.
Yeah. I stumbled across an article yesterday. I heard this business with these balloons and the Air Force shooting them down, and now this people are calling it Balloongate, and one of the things that one of the articles was about how some of these balloons are these the hobbyists who launch balloons with, it's a kids thing. It's like a first thing that these groups do. And some of you may remember Paul Viraj, who has done a couple of presentations for us, and he teaches over in Eastern Washington, and he does this all the time. I mean, he sends these balloons, and he sends balloons up to like 100,000 feet plus. I mean, he's got video on his website of just incredible, you see the curvature of the earth, they're at the edge of space up there, and it's really amazing. And some of these balloons that have been shot down, people think that they're probably these kids, these kids hobby balloons. They put their instruments on there, they hope to get them back, and then the Air Force comes, sends fighter jets up there and blows these things out of the sky like it's some kind of a dangerous thing. And it's kind of comical, actually. So I don't know if you found all of this very amusing, but to me, it just kind of, some of this stuff just makes me laugh, because it just seems like there's a lot of silliness going on right now. And maybe not everything necessarily are these kind of hobbyist balloons, but these things are pretty harmless. They're just simple data packages that send back temperature and altitude and GPS position and things like that. And they take pictures, but they're not, it's like, okay, you're from 100,000 feet, you're not going to be able to discern much with a $10 camera or something, or $20 camera. So anyway, they're not very dangerous in my opinion. So,
well, there obviously has been a little bit of maybe an overreaction to the initial,
You think?
Which was a serious thing, but there's a couple of different things with that. One of them is, as RJK pointed out, they have to get FAA permission to launch those. So the position of those balloons should be known. It's possible that the military didn't bother checking, but and it's also possible that maybe it was a hobbyist balloon where the transponder died, in which case that's not a good thing, because they need to know to try to avoid routing flights through that area. When the balloons are passing through the areas that airplanes would normally fly, which the ones that they shot down were in, altitudes where a plane could million to one shot have actually ingested one of those things.
Yeah.
They're supposed to use materials that are light and that aren't going to cause big problems, but it's still arguably a safety to flight, So like you say, it's a little bit of an overreaction, but it's also not, it's not that much of an overreaction because they're supposed to get the FAA approval. They're supposed to be tracked as far as the position goes. They're supposed to be built out of certain materials, and they're not supposed to be staying in those altitudes where flight could normally be. So I think that the bigger thing that I'm more curious about is from an engineering point of view, I really want to understand how that first Chinese balloon had the energy and propeller power or whatever to actually stay on station against the winds, because winds pushing against the side of a balloon is massive. And I've looked this up and I've tried to find any confirmation one way or the other, but they keep saying that the thing was, it seems like they're saying that the thing was able to hold station or change position against the prevailing winds. And how the heck a balloon can do that is just absolutely beyond me. That is an engineering feat that I would like to understand, which is potentially useful for these hobbyists who are doing this, and potentially useful for aerial robots, low altitude aerial robots. I would like to be able to fly a dirigible, around my neighborhood or around my backyard or something without it being blown, crazy all over the place. So that's what I'm really interested in.
Yeah, you're right. That's there's some, there's lots of questions, and
be here today.
Oh, okay.
You guys going? That is for you.
Okay.
I texted you my Apple ID password. Needed.
So mention this was the article that I saw here, and you see down here underneath the Program Excellence Awards block, the club's silver-coated party-style Pico balloon reported at 38,910 feet. Okay, yeah, that's definitely in commercial airspace. No doubt about it. And they mentioned,
but the key is as long as it has a transponder on it that's working, then they know where it is, and then they'll route aircraft away from that. So if the transponder failed, there's a 1 in a million shot a plane could have ingested it. Maybe they were justified in spending millions of dollars for an F-22 pilot to practice shooting something down.
It kind of makes you wonder if they were just looking for justification for those expensive airplanes,
No, exactly. No, listen, so one of the things that makes our military different, and I just, so I'm a U.S. Navy veteran and I was in naval aviation. Our aviators have to have a certain number of hours of actual experience, and they are desperate for experience of actually firing a missile, because they almost never get to do that, right? So I am absolutely certain that as soon as this whole situation came up, there was, aviators in mirror shades just panting for the option to be the one who got to go up there and shoot something down. And on the one hand, it's silly and wasteful. On the other hand, if you don't fire off a missile from an aircraft every once in a while, you don't find problems, and you don't have the experience of what that's like. So maybe there's a little bit of value in it.
Yeah.
Oh, and they can't use machine guns because machine guns don't work on balloons. You can tear the heck out of a balloon and it'll just float along in the air, right? Unless it has a really significant weight under it, and unless you really manage to rip it up. But like with that, they tried this in the past with a different balloon where they just shot the heck out of it with machine guns, and it just continued to float along. It was actually one of ours, and we were trying to stop it from going into somebody else's airspace, and we failed. Gosh darn it, it floated to their airspace. We're so sorry about that. Look, we tried to shoot it down, we just weren't able to. You didn't want us to actually use a missile right next to your airspace, did you? That could have provoked an international incident. So just let our balloon and our package float over your country and don't worry about it, guys. It's all okay. See, we tried.
Yeah. Check out some of the, like this stuff, this paragraph in here. Well, the first one, it says, I tried contacting our military and the FBI and just got the runaround. And then down here, the description of all 3 unidentified objects shot down between the February 10th and 12th match the shapes, altitude, and payloads of small Pico balloons. So at least some of those, yeah, some of those were, they were just kids' balloons, you know. But yeah, no, so you used $1 million missile to shoot down a $180 balloon and payload. That's a good return on investment, huh? Our taxpayer dollars at work. Woo-hoo.
The other thing too is if you ask the military for any, or the government in general, for any kind of an answer about something, I've had a tiny bit of experience in being involved in PR for the military, and when the news media is waiting for an answer, the 2 things that you have to know is, number one, they are going to warp your answer in any way they can in order to get an extra headline and sell a few extra, you know, newspapers at the time, but today it would be clicks. And the number 2 thing you have to understand is, if you happen to be on camera, like I was briefly, there is a handler right there ready to just cut you off if you start to say the slightest thing that doesn't seem right. There's an absolutely brilliant episode of Radiolab where they managed to get somebody from the government outfit that tracks satellites on the phone. It was the head of it actually at the time. This poor woman, and she was on the line with somebody from like the NSA or somebody, or some other agency was on the line with her. And they asked her about the Kaehler effect. And there's a dead silence for literally over a minute on the phone. So she's not going to answer that question, and the handler isn't going to step in. And there's just like this horribly long, just pregnant silence where the guy from Radiolab or whoever it was that was doing the interview, it's like waiting for them to say something, and neither one of them are going to say anything. And it was the funniest silence I've ever heard on a radio show.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. It's you know, they you look at this up here, the NORAD spokesman. Look what he says. I have no update for you from NORAD on these objects. Well, that's handy, useful. It says nothing. He's like, you know, he has an update, but his update is empty. You know, I have nothing to say. We can neither confirm nor deny.
I have a question.
Sure, Doug.
I heard that they fired a missile and it missed, and then they fired a missile and it took out the balloon. My question is, if a missile misses, does it like blow up to make sure it doesn't end up landing on something, or what? In other words,
no, they have a run length and they'll blow up on their own if they reach their run length. Or so I've been told. I wouldn't have any firsthand knowledge of that.
Well, that would make sense. I recently watched The Hunt for Red October, and one of the plot points in that movie is that a submarine avoids being destroyed by a torpedo by getting so close to the submarine that fired the torpedo that it was within the range before the torpedo arms itself. And the torpedoes do that so that they don't accidentally blow up the place they're being shot from.
Sure.
Right. Yep.
Is that a real, I don't know, is that a real thing? Do torpedoes work that way? I don't know.
I can neither confirm nor deny. But if you think about it from an engineering point of view, I mean, yeah, you know, that you have something that's looking for a big metal shape in the water in order to trigger an explosion. And you are a big metal shape in the water. So you definitely, if you go back to World War II, they actually had problems. First, they had problems with the torpedoes not actually firing, not actually exploding. So the detonators didn't work, right? And those were, if I remember correctly, timed detonators. And then they started switching over to the ones that were actually detecting something. And then they had problems with them going off too soon. So they had this, they ended up coming up with a combination. So it was a timed system that says you are not enabled to fire for a certain period of time. And then you will only fire when you detect a big metal lump. And I think some of those early in the day didn't have like range limit explosions on them. So, you know, there were some of them where they missed and they just settled into the floor of the sea and sat there until, you know, something went by and then they, you know, would blow up. So unintentional mines. Actually, I think if you Google unintentional mines, I was looking into this, I don't know, a couple of years ago because I was curious about it. That's what I did when I was in the Gulf, was we searched for mines in during the Gulf War, the first Gulf War. We searched for mines and led other ships through cleared mine channels. And that is nasty. That whole Gulf is just covered in minefields from war after war after war. So, I mean, going back to the balloons, this whole thing about it's this horrible mix of public perception, eager military, actual threats, man's desire to kill man, you know, the competition for resources. It just goes on and on and on. It's a really, really horrible, complex thing. And it's a little bit, I mean, it's actually very depressing when you think about it. The point I'm making here is that it's really sad when you think about it. The only upside of it is I'm really fascinated by the engineering.
Well, see, that sounds like you too. I mean, you're just kind of a guy. You're just like, how does that work?
Right. I really want to know how that balloon holds station. That's really cool. Anyway, I don't know if you're ready to move on or not, but I asked in the chat, and I just want to ask again: has anybody played around with twisted string actuators? Because I'm about to go down that rabbit hole again after having done some stuff with it years ago.
Twisted string actuators.
Okay, so did you ever build a little balsa flying plane with a rubber band on the propeller?
Okay, right? Yeah, that's what came to mind when you were saying that. So I was wondering if that's what you were talking about. But doing it with string rather than rubber?
Yep. And so the point is, on your little airplane, you know, the 2 points are fixed, the propeller and the fixed point on the other end of the plane near the tail. They don't move towards each other, right? They're fixed points. But if you ever overwound the propeller and then had the little tail thing snap off, right, because it was under too much pressure from the rubber band, that's the effect. Except that what we're doing here is we have something that doesn't stretch, so it's just like a string, and then we have a load that moves because we're twisting the string with like a DC motor or something like that.
Yeah, like
so
the old grandma toy, you know.
Oh yeah,
the button,
yeah,
the string in the
middle.
middle.
With the little spinning button in the middle, and yeah.
So if I can share this real quick, I'll just show you a picture. I don't know what happened there. Can you hear me now?
We can still hear you. It's just, you know, Zoom being Zoom, it just takes it a while to bring it up. There you go. Okay, now we got it.
Okay. So you can see you've got a DC motor, you're twisting a string, and it pulls the load towards you. The twisting of the string more or less looks like that, right? You get the idea. this is, here's another example of it where they're having the movement zone is over here and the twisting zone is over here. There's a couple of interesting points about it. The first one is it's a force actuator. It does not go to a position. It's applying a force. So it only works if you have some kind of a feedback loop between the two to, like measure the position and then adjust the amount of voltage that you're feeding to the DC motor in order to, pull it back and forth. One of the good things about it is if you have a spring or something that's pulling in the opposite direction, or if you have, in fact, another twisted string actuator in place of the spring over here on this side, then this motor is only, you don't need an H bridge. It's just a transistor. So you're just turning the motor in one direction and applying like a PWM signal so that you pull more or you pull less, but you never have to reverse, right? There's no point in reversing because it would just twist in the opposite direction and then pull the load in the same direction, right? So you have one transistor driving this motor, and if you have another motor over here, you have one transistor driving that motor. They're not in an H bridge configuration. You don't need 4 transistors, right? So you're just pulling this way or you're pulling that way, and that's the end of it. The other thing that's good about it is that I thought there was a picture of this, but I don't see it right now. Basically, when you start twisting the string, your initial pull is very large positional change and very small force, right? So it's a variable transmission ratio, basically. When you first actuate the motor, you get a large pull distance-wise, but with a small force. And then as you continue, the string starts to wrap around itself again. Wish I could find a picture of that. Oh, maybe this is it. Yeah, it starts to wrap around itself again, and then you get more torque and less pull. So it's actually a very nice actuator. There's some stuff here where they're controlling the dual mode, where they can keep it in force mode or in position mode by changing the point where it transitions from twisting to pulling. Anyway, I was just curious if anybody had looked into it, and if not, to try to encourage people to take a look at that. I think it's pretty cool.
All right, James. So it's burnt. This question just burning in my brain. What are you doing with this?
So my interest in it is in trying to make a super, super, super cheap robotic arm. Very, very simple, super, super cheap. The other place that I think it would be well applied would be in hands. As a matter of fact, I do know somebody who is working on building a robotic hand using a twisted string actuator. They're in the UC system, and they're using that as opposed to using like little servos. The cost is about the same. I should point out, by the way, that one of the reasons why it isn't done, one of the problems with it, is that the strings will break after a period of time, right? Typically.
Very finite lifetime.
Exactly. Now, what people have not done, and what I'm going to try, is most people are using strings or monofilament line, and I'm going to use a woven line called spider wire, which is I think going to be a lot longer lifetime. I hope. I don't know. We'll see.
James, I don't know where you might get it. I mean, the line that we use as a French horn player for our rotary valves is a 0 stretch woven line. That's, for me, it usually lasts about 20 years on a valve that gets used pretty regularly, and is pretty ideal for that sort of situation. It's definitely the line I use.
This is for, you said for a French horn?
Yeah. I will put a link up in chat for some.
Oh, that's cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
See, I knew there was a reason for mentioning this today.
Sure.
Somebody would have some like totally off the cuff weird reason for wanting to do it. But if you get a chance, just Google twisted string actuator and just look at the pictures, look at the images, because it's a whole world, a whole rabbit hole of interesting ideas for robotics in there, for a different type of actuator. And so just to put it out there, the thing with tracking the position, what I'm actually doing is tracking an April tag. Initially using an OpenMV cam, but you can also do it in just like a, with any camera. April tag tracking is not a difficult thing, and you track them in 3D space. So you put one April tag on the end of the robot arm, and then you figure out which motor to spin a little bit more in order to pull the April tag in the direction that you want it to go, and then you just walk it on to the position that you want.
Okay, well, that was a wonderful rabbit hole. Let's take a short break, and I will reach out, make sure, see if I hope my presenter is hanging out here someplace close. So allow me to, let's see. Oh, I'm gonna do, before I do that, I'm gonna just do a quick, go back to screen share here. Okay, so just a general reminder here, next month, same Zoom link, of course, and look for the recording sometime this week if you want to rewatch any of this stuff. And if there's any updates on anything, I'll put those on the website. You can always send feedback, meeting feedback to our standard generic address, and post anything of interest to anybody for any reason in the chat. Appreciate that. And with that, we will take, so it's about, it's almost 6 after, so I'm going to say, let's do about 5 minutes. So let's do 12:11 p.m. per the computer screen clock there. And I will see if our presenter is hiding out here someplace. I'm hopeful that he is, but if not, we may just have to go down some more rabbit holes here for the next hour or so. So this just isn't a bad thing. I mean, you guys are great at digging them. So
are you talking about me? About Ricardo?
Oh, there you are. Yes, I am talking about you, Ricardo. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, no, I was looking through, scanning through there and going, do I see him in there? But it's like, okay, oh, there you are. Awesome. Yes. Why don't you go ahead and share your screen? We'll make sure that we can see that. Okay. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Did you just get on here just a moment ago?
Yes, a few minutes ago.
Okay. That's why I was kind of scanning through everybody trying to find you there, and I was like, no.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people.
Yes, we have, let's see, what do we got? We got 26 people. Well, that's 25 because I'm on twice. So
awesome.
But,
awesome.
yes,
let me try to share the screen and let's see if this works.
Okay, I will go ahead and stop. And go ahead and, okay, yeah, we are seeing your screen there.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
Okay, so why don't you just? I'm gonna put the intro, the slide I just had up with the clock on it, and then I'll switch to you in about 3-4 minutes or so. I need to run off and use the restroom here quick, so we'll just take a few more minutes break and.
Perfect.
All right.
Great.
Yep. All right. So yeah. So about 12:11 or so. Let's regroup here.
Richard, you look lonely. Usually you're accompanied.
All right, everybody, come on back to your computers, and we will get rolling with our presentation. And today we have Ricardo. Is it Tellez?
Yes.
How do you pronounce? Okay.
Again.
So we have
Yeah.
Ricardo Tellez with us today, and you are in Spain. Is that right?
Yes, I'm
Right
in
now?
Barcelona.
Barcelona, yeah. So it's kind of in the early evening there, I believe, right?
Yes, and now it's 8 in the afternoon.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for joining us. This is we love having international presenters because it's amazing how robotics connects the world. It seems like there's just there's interest across the planet, and we love to have presenters from all over. So we get the United States most of the time, but we've had people from Greece. We had a guy from Japan. When we last time, I think you were in Japan at the time that we were, and what we did to accommodate this guy was we shifted our meeting to the middle of the afternoon here in Washington, so that it was at a reasonable time in Japan, because that's really the only way to do that, So, but I'm glad that we were able to get you here, because we're disappointed that we weren't able to connect at that time. But this stuff happens,
I'm sorry
we love to chat about all kinds of things, and these guys are really good at digging rabbit holes when it comes to technology and robotics and all kinds of things. So anyway, we have fun. So anyway, with that, I'm going to turn the screen over to Ricardo. Why don't you go ahead and share your screen?
Okay.
And you're going to tell us about ConstructSIM then? That's okay. So here is Ricardo Tellez.
Oh, thank you very much, Steve. It's my pleasure. It's my honor that you invited me to this. And I also love to go to the places where there are passionate people about robots specifically, because I am also. So I always say that I built this company because I am passionate about robots, but not the other way around, because, you think that there is business in robots, so I will do it like in potatoes. So I'm not telling the other business are wrong, but it's the reason that motivates me, that I'm passionate about robotics. So I like to meet other people that are also passionate about robotics like you. And then, so what can I tell you? So we have this company, which is called the Construct. And in this company, what we do is we teach people how to program robots. So our slogan, develop the robots of the future, is because we concentrate on the programming skills. There are a lot of robots that physically, they are able to solve a lot of things, a lot of problems that we would like them to solve. At present, they do exist, but the problem is they don't have the proper intelligence to manage themselves. And then we want to teach the people that they are going to be the ones that build those skills for the robots. And that's the company that we have built. Then the way that we do that is a little bit different from other people, from other training systems, because we don't go into a series of videos. What we have is this academy online. It's an online academy. And then we have the courses divided into different ways. But the courses, they are practice-based from minute one. So for example, if we launch one course here, for example, let me see which one. I want to launch one specific because I have something else. It's one that teaches you about kinematics. Basic kinematics of mobile robots. So here is our course, and then we launch it. Then you're going to see that this doesn't contain any video. It is based on a notebook that contains the instructions it's teaching you on this side, on the left-hand side. So here is teaching the lesson about what you have to do. Then in the middle is an IDE for programming. On the right, you are going to see the simulation. And at the bottom, you're going to see the terminals, Linux terminals. So all our courses are based on doing practice. So you have to practice with the robot that is going to appear here in a simulation. What we are discussing about, in this case, is about kinematic of non-holonomic robots. So that's chapter 3 of the basic kinematics for robotics. So I don't know what it says, but it's explaining some things. And then at some point in time, you have to do some stuff. So in this case, it's teaching you about this twist message. You don't have to do anything here, but here is when you start doing the practice thing. And whatever you do, it's going to affect the simulation that you have here. So you have to build and practice with the simulation instead of just watching a video. In this area here, you can build your code. At this moment, I don't have anything built. But you can see it's a typical BS Code web version where you can create your code. And here is the 3D simulation. In this case, it's a very simple robot. And I think I'm going to change to another course. So we have divided the courses into the foundations for programming robots, which is about learning the languages that you have to do. And also on the languages themselves, they are always practice-based. So if I launch this one about Python 3, so it's going to teach me what are variables, what are lists, all the concepts related to Python, but apply to something in robotics. So you can see the real application of what you are learning instead of just learning about the list, about object-oriented programming. So, well, okay, so I don't, okay, it's very cool. I understand the concept of object-oriented, but I want it to apply to a robot. Otherwise, what's the purpose of learning this language? So that's how we proceed in this in the courses that we have. And yeah, well, in this case, we have this robot. We change different robots for different units. So the student, they can practice in different situations. And, oh, wait here. It's because I'm interacting with the Zoom screen here. And yeah, well, so you can see here our method for learning. Then at some point in time, we found that some of the things that you are learning here, they are very guided, you know, because everything is step by step. So we have included a part where the students have to do a project. And then for this project, we call a ROS-ject, which is a ROS project. We are teaching using the ROS framework for robots. Then in this case, let me go to this other area, which is about my ROS-jects. The ROS-jects area, here we were here on the self-led courses. Then I'm jumped to the ROS-ject. ROS-ject is an open project made in ROS, where you can do whatever you want there. It's like you have a complete ROS environment on a web browser. So that's another of the advantages, because you don't need to install anything. So ROSject is anything that you create in order to start populating your ROS project. But we provide some projects to the students already made. So for example, I'm going to open this one that we provide about the basic kinematics. And when you launch it, you run it, you're going to see that the environment is also opening the environment, but in this case is not a guided environment. It's not divided into different sections that we are indicating to the students. This is one step beyond that for the students is, oh, you have a ROS environment there, and then you use it as you want, as you would be a regular developer. And then we provide some instructions about what to do, what we want in this project to be done. So as it opens, so the first thing that it opens automatically is a notebook, which contains the work that you have to do in this project. And this project is based on making the student practice what he has learned during the course. So this is a project for the basic kinematics course. And as you can see in this case, well, it says you have to do this, you need to practice with the simulation, but the simulation is not open for you, because in a regular job, in a regular place, programming robots, you will not have the simulation running there. You need to decide when to open a terminal. So this is another step in the procedure for teaching the student, so he can get used to the real environment of programming robots. Then in this case, for example, it says, oh, let's launch the simulation. For that, you need to launch a terminal first, a Linux terminal that we have here. So open your terminal. And then you need to launch this ROS command that you have learned before what it means. This is the ROS command in order to launch the simulation. So we launch this command, and then it's going to launch the simulation. Like if we were in a regular development environment for ROS software. So this is how you launch a simulation in ROS. And then the simulator, the default simulator in ROS is Gazebo. So here is opening, and then it's going to show us the simulation. Here it is. So here is the simulation. And then I can move this around. And you can see this simulation is a simulation of a TurtleBot 3 in a simple environment. And then I don't remember exactly what this project is saying, but doesn't matter. This is something for the student. So it says, launch the simulation. You have to do something about obstacle avoidance. So you have to create this program that does some obstacle avoidance using the kinematic equations. And then, so you have to test this on the simulation, of course. So you have to achieve this kind of behavior. Okay, then once you have the code working in the simulation, then you can connect to our remote lab with real robots, which are in Barcelona. So the students not only practicing with the simulations, first in a structured environment, second in an unstructured environment, but then on the third step, they have to practice with the real robots that we have in Barcelona. And for that, it's very simple how to do it. So you have to book a date and a time, and I have done it before. Let me show you how to do it there, because it's very simple. I have prepared this booking before, but let me show you. It's very simple. So here in this area about real robots, we have the area of the open remote labs. Those are the labs that we have for the students. Then I'm going to practice with the TurtleBot 1, and then I'm going to book a date. So I have to select first the day. Here is Saturday today, and then the time that is available. So today, for the rest of the day, it's available after 21. This is my time zone, okay? This is my time. Always is on your time zone. Then, oh, today is very late, so I'm going to book one for tomorrow. Let's see, tomorrow, yeah, because it's Sunday, looks like nobody wants to work on Sunday. So let me say it's Sunday at 10 in the morning. So I book it here, continue, and confirm. Okay, so now the robot is booked for tomorrow for me. I have done this for this time now, for the session that we are now, so I can show you. Then, now I can apply my code to the real robot. So what do? There is an icon here and says that I am disconnected, but I still have 29 minutes of my booking. So I'm going to connect, turn on. So now the simulation makes no sense. So it's going to close automatically and the system is going to connect to the robot. I am now in Barcelona at my home, but now this is connected to the office where it is. And the people from any part of the world, they connect the same way. So they connect, they will control the same robots. Then what is going to happen is after a few seconds, you can see here that the cameras of the lab, they are connected. So I can see, let me make it bigger. So now we can see here, yes, the cameras, the robot is spinning. So it means that it's ready. And there are two different points of view, one place and the other. Now I can use this joystick to put the robot on the proper location that I want for my experiment, whatever it is. I want to put it on this corner and then turn in to the other side. So yes, so no, too much on this side. So I'm going to put it on the other way. Yeah, like this. Right. So now I am ready. Now I can launch commands and make my robot move and make my computer control the robot. For example, in this case, I think I don't know how much, do you know about ROS? And then I'm going to do a ROS topic pop for the command bell, CMD bell of the robot, which is a twist message. Come on. Geometry twist, yes. So I'm going to make the robot turn a little bit while moving to the forward. So it's going to do kind of a circle moving. So now this is moving. Oh, okay, sorry. I have to put a rate -R because otherwise a single command is not going to continue. So there it goes, the robot. Then maybe it's going to crash. Okay, yeah. So whatever it is crashing against it. Yeah. So because this command is not is too, I mean, it's turning too slow and moving forward too fast. Well, it's okay. That's just an example. And then, so I can move the robot backwards. Yeah, and put it on another. So that's the method that we are applying to the students. So first they take the lessons in a fixed environment. Then based on those lessons, they have to do a project that we are asking them to do it on their own simulation at their own pace. And when they are happy, they have to apply to the real robot here. And that's the method that we do. So what else I want to share with you is, sorry, it's a little bit difficult here for me to move the, yeah, now, okay. Then those are courses that are self-led courses. Anybody can go now, enroll them and start the courses. We have the basics of courses. They are free, which teach you about Python 3, Linux for robotics, and C++. So those courses are completely free. Other courses, they are on the paid tier. And then usually we have a monthly subscription, and then the students from around the world, they need it to learn, and then they just subscribe. Then for more professional ones, we also deliver live trainings. Those are 3 days trainings that we do live. And then we use this mechanism, the same situation that we have here, the students connected to the Zoom, and then everyone at the same time, all the students, all of you would be connected to this platform and doing the exercises, the teacher is explaining the lessons first, so you don't have to read and all that. Then the teacher is explaining while you are doing. This is the important point. Not listening to a guy like you are listening to me now. Then, so that's the ROS industrial, teaches the basics of ROS 2 for industrial robots, another one for fleet management systems. And in this case, for example, we have another lab, which is remote, which is the cafeteria. So we have built a complete cafeteria here in Barcelona. And then we deliver a training about fleet management systems. So where the guys, they are controlling the robots. For example, this one is preparing the coffee and put it on the robot. And then these robots, then afterwards, they deliver the coffee. So those are the machines that deliver the coffee. They go to the place where they have to have the coffee and send to the person. And they also control the doors, open the doors themselves. So we teach how to integrate all this in a single robotic system. And in case that you want to try this, we have put this website online, which is called starbots.coffee. And then in this one, yes, it's for the students. Okay, we are not selling anything, so we don't get any money. But you can go from Monday to Friday at that time. It's a little bit early for you, I understand. From 9, let me put it bigger. From Monday to Friday, 9:30 to 2, and then you can go there and then select one of the members of the team here, and then order a coffee for them. And then you will see on the screen how the robots, you will see those robots working. There will appear a camera in your phone, for example. You can do it with your phone, and then you will see how it works, the whole thing. Then final thing that I would like to tell you is that we are doing an event, annual event, is a conference where the people come to the conference and not only listen to the speakers, but they practice with the speaker. And that's what I would like to do now with you. It's called the ROS Developers Day. It's an online conference. And when you attend, you get all the projects from the speakers. So you have to open the project before the speaker starts and then start practicing with the speaker at the same time. So you are learning a lot of different subjects. For example, last year, we talked about simulating and testing underwater robots. And in this case, it's about Isaac Ross Visual Slam with a robot. So you learn a lot of different subjects, but practicing with the speakers. Then what I would like to do now, before we go into the questions time, is that we start practicing with this. So what I'm going to do now is here. Okay, so here I am already done. Then we are going to go all together to this. So everybody has access. Let me share with you this. And then we are going to do a class together, just 5 minutes. Okay, so you can feel the taste. Then let me share with you here on the chat this application. So if you go to that link, then if you don't have an account, it's a free account, okay? You can delete anytime. It's very easy to go to the link. Go to your user, in case that you don't like these kind of things being on. So you go to your settings and then delete account. Where is this one? Delete my account, that's it. Everything deletes, that's simple. You don't have to send an email and no, we don't want people who doesn't want to be with us. So free to go fast. So if you can join here, then once you are at home, let's go to self-led courses and let's launch, for example, the Linux for robotics. Do you know about Linux? Yeah, you know, right? Yeah, you are a roboticist. Yes. Okay, then let's do something better. Let's do what about ROS? So people, do you know ROS? Do you program with ROS? also no Ross. I can see some people here. I can see Bob saying yes. And the others, I cannot see them because I cannot. Okay.
Some of us do, but some of us, like myself, have not used Ross.
Okay, then I think that's the most common situation. So I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to log out of this account and then sign in as a teacher. So with a teacher account, I am logging. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is to share a student license into my team, the Construct students team. So this is something extra for teachers. So many teachers at universities, they use this for their students at the university. So what they do is they buy a set of licenses, let's say 20 licenses for 20 students, and then all the students have access to all the courses. So that's what we are going to do now. So let me share the link with you. If you click on this link, I'm putting on the chat. No, so James says Ubuntu only here. Okay, you can use any type of computer. It doesn't matter the computer. Mac, mine is a Mac because everything is running on the web. So you don't have to install anything. So get a license here.
Yeah, I understand that you were just asking about people who use Linux, and I was
okay.
I only use Ubuntu. I'm very aware that the construct runs in the browser, and I've been a fan for years. It's a great
thank you. I'm honored. Thank you very much. Yeah, I presume that you are James, right?
Yeah, I'm not as big a fan of Ross as I am of the construct. So that may be mutually exclusive, but your website is awesome.
Thank you very much, James. James, thank you very much. I'm really honored about that. So then you already have an account. Then but in case that your license is expired or something, you can click on that and then you can join the team. So please click on that link, every one of you. So you will be part of my team. Then we will be all students, and then we are going to launch the course about ROS. For example, let's go for ROS 2. Let's go for ROS 2. So please do it. At least somebody do it, because I have to see you here appearing here on the list. Anybody interested on practicing? Okay, I can see John already here. Okay, Stephen, Greg, Richard, Orum, Doug, and let me move this. Yes. Okay, anybody has a problem joining? If somebody has a problem, let me know. If not, we are going to go to in the menu on the left, let's go to self-led courses. Self-led courses. Then on the list of courses, let's go down until it shows ROS 2. It's called the new one, the latest one is ROS 2 Basics in 5 days, Humble Python. ROS 2, and it has a touch of new. ROS 2 Basics in 5 days, Humble Python. Then press Start Learning. This image only appears to me, not to you, but so if you press that, then
it's actually Start Course, right?
Yes, Start Learning.
On my screen, it says Start Course, not Start Learning, but I assume it's the same thing.
Yes. It's the same. Probably you are in another screen.
We might be kind of overwhelming it here. We're all jumping on right at the same time there. It's saying there's due to the number of people in our system right now, you may need to wait a bit.
Yeah. That is right. this is because, let me explain you how it works. Our system, we have up to 4 machines that are already ready for anybody. So we keep 4 machines for everyone. So because usually we don't have a rush of people. Usually we have some people, but when a class starts, that's a problem at present that we haven't solved yet. So the problem is that we are launching more machines automatically, but it takes a few minutes to launch for everyone. So this is something that we are working, and the solution is not simple. It's not simple. It's not easy, this one. But don't worry, we wait.
So when I went in,
we are on time, right?
I got Ross. I didn't see anything that said Ross 2. It just said Ross. Am I in the wrong place?
Yes. Yes. Let me see. You are who is talking? Because this very strange organization of Zoom. I never.
So he's Doug Bell.
Okay, Doug. Then can you show us your screen?
Yeah, you should be, Doug, you should be able to just override it, I think. Just go ahead and do a screen share.
Yeah, exactly. You are going to kick me out, but doesn't matter. We'll put it later.
Right. Yeah.
Go ahead, Doug. Can you share it, Doug?
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how to share the screen.
Okay.
Down on the bottom of your Zoom window, there should be a green button.
Oh,
you might have to.
Was too obvious.
Oh yeah. And then you click on it and then pick what you want to share.
Oh, I see. Okay, so now, but how am I going to know? Safari. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, but it has many, many Safaris.
Yeah, you need to find the one that your screen that you're looking at that's trying to get into ConstructSIM.
Or just desktop. Just desktop.
Or desktop. Yeah, desktop probably work too.
Yeah, desktop should work. That'll work. Okay, just share that. Okay, now
just be sure not having something on the screen that you don't want to share, like your bank account, something like that, you know.
Doug, be aware when I was clicking around a few minutes ago, it came up and said it didn't like Safari. It prefers Chrome or Firefox.
Yeah, of course.
You're able to record. All right. Well, that's just fine.
I just saw your comment, James. Yeah, I think you're right.
All right. All right. So let's try this. I don't know. Can you see anything for me yet?
Oh,
no.
All right. Well, let me just describe my screen. It says, welcome to the construct, and it has 3 options: basic robotics, robotic operating system, ROS, and
okay. Got it.
Programming with AI.
Yeah. I got it. This card, you have to select. Yeah, you have this screen. I know which screen you mean. Let me see.
Right. So it doesn't, it only has the option ROS. And I went into that option and I didn't see anything for ROS 2. So I figured I must be in the wrong place.
So you have to close this guide. I want to explore by myself. No, go back.
Okay.
And then close this
mastering mastering mobile. This is an ad, I guess. I don't know how to get rid of it. Oh, here we go. Dismiss. Okay, good. Your personal ROS news feed.
Yes. Okay.
ROS 2 basics in 5 days.
Yeah, wait. Your personal news feed. Wait a second. Yeah. So go to the left menu and then select self-led courses.
Oh, here we go. Way over here. Okay, good.
Yes.
And then we have, well, you wanted me to pick here, basic ROS 2.
Yes. Then one of those has a new color, and then select the one that has a new ROS2 Basics in 5 Days, Humble Python. That's the title.
Oh, way down. Okay, very good. In 5 days,
start
Python.
learning.
Start learning. Good. Oh my, now it wants me. Oh, browser not supported. Try Chrome or Firefox.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Go, continue. Go ahead. Go ahead. It's going to work. We say that because we are only supporting those two, because we cannot support all of them. And then if something wrong happens, we have the excuse to say, wrong happens means that, I don't know, one button doesn't work, things like that. But usually I use other browsers and I have no problem, Safari or others. So no, don't worry, go ahead. So now I think that all of us, we are on Unit 1, right? Are we? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Richard, thumbs up.
Thumbs up. It's looking good.
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
Great. Then, so then that's how it works. Then we have the lesson here on the Unit 1, and then me as a speaker, as a teacher, I will be explaining to you. So let's practice here. You are going to see how this system works. First, we are going to do here in this course, you are going to learn how to program robots with ROS2. And let me show you a few commands so you can start feeling that what you are learning is having some meaning. So first, we have this command source that we have to launch in order to move the robot that we have on the right-hand side. So you can copy that command, rather using the icon or selecting everything and then Control-C, going to a terminal number 1, and then press Control-V. Okay, so once you have executed this command, you see that nothing happens yet. Yeah, because this is setting the environment for ROS programs. You are going to learn what it means later. Now just execute. Yep. Then let's go to the second command, which is here, ROS2 run Mara minimal publisher. So copy again also and launch it on the same terminal, just beneath the previous command. And then you will see that the robot starts moving and posting some positions on the terminal. Okay, so what you have done here is to launch a ROS2 program. Then in the next units, we are going to learn how to create your own program for robots with ROS2, and also how to what those commands mean and why do you need them. Okay, so that's what explains here and the rest of the unit. So if you have this done, we can switch to the next unit. So you can click on this arrow at the bottom line that goes to the right. So let's go to the next unit. Then on the next unit, we are going to be using a different robot simulation. So that's why it's reloading the simulation. And here we have the Unit 2 of the same course, which is about the basic concepts. Then we are going to start by moving again the robot. Okay, so, and you are going to see a few more commands, interesting commands. So let's wait until the simulation loads and the terminals are correct. Please, if you don't follow this or you have you are lost, tell me. Raise your hand. Tell me, hey, sorry, I have a problem here. You have to be doing at the same time as I do.
Okay, you said that I had to follow an arrow, but I couldn't find that arrow, so I'm not sure what I was supposed to do. This was after executing the first two commands.
Yes, and then your robot move. Did your robot move?
Yeah, the arm moved. Yes.
Yeah, great. Then, so that's just the unit number 1. It's just for getting the flavor, a little bit of what is going to be this course. Then you need to go to the unit number 2. So if you go to the left-hand side and then at the bottom part, you can see that says one something, and then there is an arrow that points to the right. Bottom part of the screen, to the bottom, there is a line with icons at the bottom. No?
Just a moment. I keep getting switched. I see. Okay, I'm back to mine.
Okay.
I can't see yours and mine at the same time.
Yeah. I see. I understand. Yeah, that happens all the time to us.
So here's the little robot animation, end of demo.
Yes, but no, go to the bottom left of that screen.
Oh, you mean in the gray area at the very bottom?
Yes.
And then just arrow to the right. Okay.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So you just click that one, and then you will move to the unit number 2.
Now we're at unit 2.
Yes. At some point in time, then you will see this simulation with another. This is a Turtlebot 3 hamburger model. So now we are going to try to move this one also. And for that, we are going to launch those commands again. But you can see that there are now 3 commands. The source 1, the source 2, and then the ROS2 run. So let's do that. So let's copy the first one and launch in the first terminal. Then let's do the same thing. Copy the second command and then launch it on the same terminal. And then copy the third command, which is the actual one that launches the robot. The previous 2 are just setting up the environment for ROS2. Then if we launch the third command, this is the one that launches the ROS2 program that controls the robot. And then you can see that it shows some keys in order to move the robot around. So if you press those keys, you will see that your robot is moving forward, turning, backward, so you can play with it. So now, what you are seeing here is a ROS program working. And we are going to learn how is that we launched this command. What does it mean, this command that launched the program that allow us to control the robot? Is everybody able to move the robot?
Very fun. Nice and spinny.
Anybody with problems? I can see that Nathan has some problems.
There we go.
Nathan, are you on business? Or please, if you speak, is easier. So you can switch on the mic and tell. It's faster. You can interrupt. Okay, you joined. I understand that means that you are moving the robot. Okay. You joined the license, and then you don't know which course. Yeah, okay. So let me see. Please watch my screen, Nathan, again. Then you should be here at home. Then move into the left-hand side menu, go to self-led courses. Self-led courses. And then on this list that appears here, go until you see this section, Basic ROS2. And then inside this section, select the ROS2 Basics in 5 Days, Humble Python, that has a new color, in red color label. So you select that one by press Start Learning. Start Learning, this button here at the bottom of my screen. Okay, let me know if you, I'm opening and leaving open the chat, so let me know if you have trouble. So the next thing that I would do in this class is to show you what this ROS-run command that we have launched means. So you can see that the command has several parts. If I go back to the command that we have launched, the first one is ROS2. This is mandatory. ROS2, that means we are going to launch a ROS2 command. Then second one is the ROS2 command that we want to launch. In this case is run. Run means we are going to execute a program of ROS. And third part is the package that contains the ROS program that we are going to launch. And fourth is the program within that package that we are launching. So actually what we are launching is the teleop keyboard program, which is a ROS2 program. That's what we are doing. And in ROS, all the programs, they are organized in what we call a package. All the programs need to be built inside a package because, well, it's the way of organizing different abilities, different skills for the robot. And a package can contain more than one program. But for the moment, one package, one program. So in order to launch a program in ROS, you have to do all those things. You have to type ROS2, then run, then the name of the package that contains your program, and then the name of the program that is within that package. Okay, so you can see that is the way of executing. And then the next question is, what is a package? And it's the way of organizing ROS2 files in order to create a program. And then, well, we explain what is a package, how to create a package. So we are going to create a package. Let's create a package now, and then we'll go to the questions if you want. So in order to create a package, well, before going to create a package, let's close the ROS2 program that we launched. That's still running, and my robot is gone because I press, oh, here it is. Okay. He's still moving because I press on. So in order to stop a ROS program, you have to select the terminal that is running that program and then press Ctrl+C. When you press Ctrl+C, then the program will stop. But you have to have the focus on the terminal. If you don't have the focus on the terminal that is running your program, then the program will not stop, even if you press Ctrl+C. So how do you know that you have the terminal, the focus? Because you have this blinking cursor. It's called the prompt. Well, the prompt is, yeah, everything, but. So you click on the terminal to set the focus onto it. Yes, that's right, James. Okay, then, so we got at this, then now let's create a package. And in order to create a package in ROS, you cannot create a package anywhere in the hard disk that you want. You always have to create the package inside the ROS2_WS, that means workspace. So that's the ROS2 workspace /src. So you need to go to that directory, as you can see here on the notebook. Let me put it bigger. Here, the notebook here. So you have to go to your home user, ROS2 workspace, and then go inside the src. Do you know how to do that? In order to go to the ROS2 workspace, you have to type this command, cd / blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I'm going a little bit faster for some cases and very, very slow for some others. I know, but it's just an example of how could it be. So let's go to the ROS2_workspace /src directory. Then you can do cd ROS2_workspace /src. This is a typical Linux command. I don't know why this is getting so small. Well, here. Okay, that's the command that you have to launch. So now I am in the ROS2 workspace. Here is where you have to create any ROS package. You cannot create it in another place. If you create it in another place, it's going to fail. Then we are going to launch the command to create a package, which is here written in the notebook. So you can copy. Let me copy and paste it here on the terminal. And I'm going to explain you the different parts. Yes, James is right. So if you go through reading this the notebook, you will see all the details, everything is explained and so on. It's just an example of how will be a class for a university or online class trainings that we do. It's just that. Then by typing this command, you will get your first package created. And that's it. That's the point I wanted to reach. And so the package is created, and you can see on the IDE here on the top, my package. We have created a package called my package. Yeah, and then I think I should stop here because otherwise I'm going to take a lot of time, more time, and I'm available for your questions. If we have time.
So, Ricardo, so the course content here, you're not the creator of all of this content then. You have lots of other people that contribute this?
Exactly. Yeah. At the beginning, when we started, it was only us, but then, so we have to expand because we are including some of the subjects that we cannot be masters of all the subjects. And then we have external people that have created. Actually, this week we have created one. We have launched one, which is about creating snaps, which are applications, like full applications for robots based on ROS 2 with Canonical. So Canonical is the company that builds Ubuntu. And then they have built the content, and then we have been preparing the software for working for that course because it's something very, very special. So they are with the snaps. Snaps is the concept that they have invented, which is kind of trying to make an app store for robots. So how can you create an app for a robot? That's the course. Then in this case, it was Canonical who built the content. We did a partnership with them.
Interesting.
So, Rick, I have a question for you, and I want to make it very, very, very clear before I ask this question that I am a huge fan of the construct, and I really like that you guys do free lessons. You know, like that. There's a lot of the content that people can get started on, and then they can kind of get a feel for whether or not they want to continue learning this. I tell a lot of my students to go and just try it out and see how they feel about it. But one thing I want to know, and I'm hoping that you're comfortable sharing this, is how is this funded? Like how because you guys have been doing this for years.
Yes.
And when you first started, the first thought that I had in my mind is, oh, this is somebody's passion project, and it's going to go for 6 months, and then they're going to lose interest and it's going to die. And you've gone for years and years and years now. And I understand that you get paid a little bit, like some of the lessons are free, and then if they want to continue, they have to pay for it. And it sounds like you're also working with universities, so maybe you're getting funding there. And I thought I heard you said that you're getting funding from Canonical, or you're supported by Canonical. So I'm just curious if you're willing to share with us a little bit about how you're sustaining this and how it's being funded. How were you able to convert this from being a passion project into being an ongoing, reliable business, an ongoing concern?
Oh, yes. You are completely right about what you mentioned about us. It's been like that. And then I'm going to tell you the truth, no problem sharing, is we are sustained, but why our clients pay us. So we have 3 types of clients, let's say. One is the individuals. So people like some of you that want to learn because some of the reasons, maybe they want to improve their skills, they want to change jobs, they need it for a research project that they are, or the thesis, something like that. Then they subscribe to our system. And that's a little bit, yes, that's the small part of the business. Then another part is the universities. So we have the universities that they get this for a semester for their students. We have different plans on this. For example, most of the universities, they pay for the full bunch of studies as students. So when they buy for 20 students, and then they assign these licenses to their students. And there is another way of paying that is making the students pay, each one of them. So they can make a class of whatever the number, 30 students, and each one is paying just a small amount. So some universities prefer that one. And then the third one is about the trainings. The trainings is those online events that we do for 3 days, which are more targeting companies. They need to put their team into a subject. For example, there is several companies that want to transfer their team from knowing ROS 1 into ROS 2. So we have this training for ROS 2 basics that trains you all the basics in ROS 2. Another one is the fleet management, which is a hot topic now. So we create this training that next week on Monday, we are starting a 3 days training about fleet management. Then there is another about mobile manipulators, which is also a hot topic, is how to have a mobile base with an arm do tasks. So it has to combine all the tasks, object recognition, arm manipulation, navigation, all at the same time, and have a behavior. So we teach this and this is usually to companies. So that's the way of this, but the number of clients is not very big. So then comes the second part, which is the control of the expenses. On that one, I cannot tell you more details, but it's terrible. So you have to be, this is not it's a startup I think in the sense that it has to be. So a startup that is with a mission, that has to accomplish a mission, not to show, because most of the startups get the money and then start building big buildings and then having super cool presentation and a very nice team. And then, so we are moving, I would say that is in the old way of doing business. It's a startup in the old way of doing business. We don't have investors. We don't have, never had. And then we build on the money that we generate in order to improve our product, go to another layer, and then we generate a super habit of this, and then we invest this. But
so you're following your customers. In other words, you're not spending money unless it's bringing in money.
Yes, that's right. That is right.
So if you don't mind me asking 2 questions then. If I'm an individual learner and I want to, like, for example, I want to finish this, introduction to ROS 2 class, how much does that cost me? And how long do I have to finish the course and get the certificate on the free license that you just gave me? That last part was kind of a joke.
In the free license, in the free license that I just gave you, just a few days. I'm sharing this with you, okay? So just take the benefit that you can on these days, and that's it. Monday.
I'm just joking about that, but how much if I actually wanted to finish the class? How much would it cost to take this class?
Oh, yeah. Well, it depends on you. So it's a monthly subscription. It is around $40 per month. It's about that. So the course, it is planned, and it can be done in about 40 hours of work. And then some people do it in 1 week. Actually, it's called in 5 days, because that's right. If you dedicate the 5 full days just to that, you can do it. Then some people doesn't, and then take a month. Or some people even is more busy, and then they take it in 2 months. Then after the first month of payment, they will have to pay a second month of paying. It's automatic unless you cancel. Cancel is very easy. It's super easy. We should not do that because it's advised, on the startup manuals of everyone. When you create a startup, you have to put it difficult to people to unsubscribe. So you have to hide the button. You have to put, are you sure? Then really, but if you do cancel, maybe a plane will crash and, these kind of tricks. We hate that. And then we don't want to go on that. We want people that is in our platform is happy. We don't want the other way around. Then what happens with that, I can tell you the effect of this is that you get a very high, what is the term? I don't remember. It's a very high number of people that cancels very quickly. So they stay 1 month, 2 months, 3 months at most, but they cancel many on the first month. And then we try to make this, what's problem here? What is the thing? How can we make it stick for a longer time? But then something happened as we started to stay alive for longer. The company is there. Then it happens that after 4 months of this guy that has unsubscribed, then he subscribed again. And then he canceled for 2 months, after 2 months, and then he subscribed again 3 months later again. So we have seen this pattern, and that's good for us, because that means that this guy finds our system useful. The only thing is that he doesn't want to be paying for something he's not using. And that's okay. That's okay. That's fair. Yeah. So he cancels
because like his life gets in the way. He has other things.
Yes.
His wife wants him to do some yard work or something like that, and so he has to go and do it, and he can't learn about robots. None of us would know anything about that. But just to verify again, the cost is $40 to take for 1 month, and the class should take between a week and a month, maybe longer if you are slow. But the point is, $40 a month, $40 per month.
40. Yes. It's 39.97 euros per month.
Okay,
so
is that okay? And so is that then like, so if I'm paying the subscription, and let's say I tear through this class in the first week of my monthly subscription, can I move on to the next class, or is that another $40?
Yes. Very good question. So with those $40, you have access to all the courses that are there, except the enterprise ones, which are just a few. So we have like 30 something courses, and then like 5 are enterprise, if I remember correctly. 5, 6 are enterprise, and then 30 something are on the non-enterprise. So you have access from the minute 1 to all of them. So if you want to be studying the whole 24 hours, you can do it, and then keep another one. I hope you don't do it, but you can, okay? So it's possible. It's there. We are not controlling anything of that. Then not only that, you also have access to the real robots. So you can connect to our, you have to. And then in order to get the certificate that we deliver, if you achieve the basics of ROS and other courses, some courses are eligible for a certificate. But in order to do that, you have to do the course. You have to do inside the courses, there are some quizzes. Then you have to do those quizzes. And once you have this, you have to do a project. That's what I mentioned before. And then this project has to work on the real robot. If it doesn't work on the real robot, then it's not okay. Once you have this, everything is explained there, okay? So it's guiding you step by step, okay? But once you have this, you have to request a presentation on live of your project. So you are going to get you are going to be presenting your project, how you solve these things that you needed to do, and showing in real time in the real robot from your location. So that is the system that we have built. You can see the presentations of others, students. If you go to YouTube, let me see here, the channel is Becoming a ROS Developer. That's the channel. So here you can see the presentations of other students that they have decided. I can tell you that not many students decide to take this. This is a lot of work. So you can see here, for example, this is my colleague Rodrigo, and then he is presenting from the project of Ruben Vidal. And yeah, so this is Ruben Vidal. Some point in time, Ruben, he's Rodrigo from my team. And then he's making the presentation of this guy, evaluating the presentation. And then this guy, Ruben Vidal, so he's presenting and showing, so he's showing live. This is the screen of Ruben Vidal, of this guy that wants to get the certificate. And then he's explaining how it works. So you can see here, his robot is about to move somehow. I don't know. Let me see. It moved. Yeah, here, for example. So the robot is moving, right? So he's showing that his program works, and then he has to explain why it works. So, so I did this, I did that. And then based on that, we evaluate and say, oh yeah, this guy knows, and then we provide the certificate. So he is explaining the student all these parts. You can see all the presentations there in case that you are interested. So here there are a lot of them. Yeah, so well, so some of them, not many students do. And then some students, they take several, this is not correct. Well, anyway, you can see here the videos. It's in becoming a ROS developer channel. So if you have the time of doing all those things, then you can get the certificate.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've seen in the past that I really liked was seeing on some of your social media feeds that, you know, your students actually completed projects and did all this kind of stuff. So anyway, I'm a huge fan of what you're doing. I just wish you weren't doing it in ROS. So are you going to go into doing things in other systems besides ROS, or are you just going to stay in ROS and ROS 2?
So far is only in ROS, but I don't know what is going to happen. Do you know that one company, so Intrinsic, which is a company of Alphabet, they bought in December, they bought one of the parts of the Open Robotics, the company that builds ROS. And then, so we don't know what is going to be the future of ROS then. So maybe in the future, but so far, we think that the future is going to be okay. But when Google is in the middle, then you never know. You never know what is going to happen. So it looks like it's going to be good, but we don't know. So we'll see. And the thing is that there are no many other contenders to ROS. So other possibilities. Can you suggest me one? What, because you mentioned, James, that you don't like that everything is in ROS. So what else would you like to have?
You know, for me, I think ROS is so hard to learn. And you know, I think you guys probably do a great job of making it easier. And it's you know what you're doing is exactly what the ROS world needs in order to get some, you know, fresh blood into it. But I think it's really a high barrier of entry, and even though what you're doing lowers the barrier of entry, I think it would be really good to have like a pipeline. You could think of it like like the minor leagues, and then that leads into the major leagues, which is ROS, and that would be something like, you know, making a simple Arduino-based robot, or, you know, some just some kind of very basic robotics that's done
that is right.
in a simulator. If you look at everybody's heard of Tinkercad. Everybody likes to make fun of Tinkercad, but Tinkercad has a circuit simulation component that nobody knows about, and it's very, very well done, where they do these really nice little simple lessons that teach you how to do basic electronics, just, you know, hooking up a motor to a transistor and to an Arduino, and, you know, that kind of thing, or hooking a servo up to an Arduino. That sort of thing I think would be a wonderful addition, and you would get a lot more people who are interested in it.
So awesome. I'm taking notes about that, and definitely I'm going to consider. Actually, 2 years ago, we started to include, for example, robotics theory also. And then last year, we started to include development tools, DevOps. So nothing, which is nothing related to robotics, but to when you are going to work as a programmer in a company, you need to know DevOps. tools like Docker, Jenkins, continuous integration, and all that. So I'm taking note about what you mentioned about something about Arduino, about the teaching electronics, the Tinkercad also. So I'm going to consider seriously.
Doug Bell was asking how many different real robots are available in the system, and I'm curious to know that as well.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So there are some questions here. Yeah. Okay. So for the system for regular students, you can still see my screen, right? Yeah. Okay. Then let me go back here. For regular students, here in the option of real robots, you only have access to 2 robots for regular students. This is the Turtlebot and the robot arm, which is a simple robot arm printed in 3D. So those is for just regular students, like the 40 euros. Then for the enterprise one, we have this universal robot arm also, and this mobile base. We have built another lab. You have seen the Turtlebot 3.1, which is very simple. It's for beginners. Then there is another one for beginners with a robot arm. But then for the professionals, we have this one, which is a warehouse. So we have those 2 robots, the UR and the mobile base. This mobile base inside a, sorry, it's some interaction here with Zoom, and it's making me change. So this one, for example, is able to carry shelves. So it goes underneath the shelves and then carries them. And then they are in the same lab as the UR, actually, warehouse robotics lab, the construct. Probably I can show you something here. Yeah, I think it's this one. Yeah, so this is the lab. We have built this in collaboration with a company called the Robotnik. They send us this robot for the shelves. And then, so we have created the simulation of the lab and then the real lab here. And it's the same thing. So that's another lab that is available to our students. And then the other lab that we have recently created is the one of the cafeteria that I already shown you. And yes, so those are the labs, but all those labs are only for enterprise clients or the people that attend our online trainings.
So how much is the enterprise and how much is the online training, if you don't mind sharing the costs?
No, of course. So the trainings are, wait here. So you can check all those prices. They are in our online page. So if you go to the ConstructSIM.com, then you can see everything there. So it's open, all the prices. Then this one is, where is it? Here, yeah, here. So it's 2,399 euros per person. This is for the online trainings, which includes the training of the 3 days and then accessing the material for 6 months afterwards also. And then for the enterprise is 2,000, the same price, is the same price, but you have access to the whole year. It's a yearly license to all the courses, including the enterprise and all the labs, including the ones that are enterprise. The only difference is that for this one, the enterprise is you don't have a person teaching you. So you have to do it by yourself. You can ask questions. We have a forum, and all of our screens inside our platform, there is a yellow icon at the bottom right. Then that's in all the screens. So you go there and then you ask the question directly, and then somebody is going to answer the questions in 24 hours, except the weekends.
So probably a little bit past the average person's budget, but good to know for other stuff. So I have a question real quick about the course. I've been kind of toddling along in the background, and I ran into a place where I have an error. It says install is depreciated, use build and pip and other standards-based tools. I can paste it into the chat if you want to see the error. But I'm just, what I'm more curious about is, what do you do if you are having a problem and you don't know how to get past? Is there a support forum? Is there, how do you get help?
As a student, you mean?
Yes, as a student at the $40 level.
If you have a question about the courses, if you have a problem, then you put it on the forum. That's it, and then we answer. What we can do, it's about your own projects. You mean your own projects?
No. I'm talking about in the class, in the lessons, right? If you run into an error, like I just posted the error that I was getting in the chat, then the question is, how do you get that answered? So you have a forum somewhere? I didn't see the link to it.
Yes. So that's, yeah. Let me go back to the lesson. So I'm going back to the lesson here. Okay. Wait a second. So if you have an error, let's say we are in this lesson, okay? That's the lesson that we were doing. And then you have that error that you posted on the chat. Then you click on the yellow icon at the bottom right with a question mark.
Oh, wait a minute. You mean the great, huge yellow question mark in the lower right-hand corner that it didn't notice until you pointed it out?
We don't know how to put it simpler. Sorry. But we put it in yellow. We put it in yellow because we thought that was going to get the attention of the people. So you click there and it's going to redirect you directly to the forum section that matters to that unit and that point. So it's not a forum with all the courses because we have so many courses. So you can get distracted by the other courses questions. So no, all the questions here that are in this page are related to the course that you are doing. So you post here and then we answered in 24 hours, except the weekend. And we also have put, because sometimes people experience some other errors, then there is here another dirty button that we put it in order to test, which is to report an error in case that your simulation doesn't load, or I don't know, you have a problem with the IDE loading. Sometimes people has problems like this. So we provide this, report an error, and this is super high priority because everything has to work first properly. And then second, the questions, of course, the questions have to be answered about things that you don't understand. For example, in this case, you say, Colconville, my package standard error is deprecated. Oh, yeah, but I think that it built. You are putting only just a small part of the message, right? Well, yeah, Nathan, yes, you're right. There is a lot of material. Yes, there is a lot. Okay, I can see here, setup initial install is deprecated. So you put it this question, it just appeared here to everybody. So we can check it. We can go and see if it's who is the one that has, yes, James. We can see here. Okay, we'll answer this question on Monday.
Yeah, so this is good because this is one thing that people are nervous about. They're gonna spend their $40. They're gonna get to a point something's not gonna make sense, and then like how do they get the question answered? So now they know. They can hunt and find that little question mark button that you hid in the corner of the screen behind the gray, where it couldn't be seen at all. In bright yellow.
Yeah, exactly. But that happens to many people. You know, because we are so used to so many messages that we are discarding everything all the time, and that's a problem. That's a problem, really. For some, you see here, I have a picture now on my screen, which is the one that Richard has sent. It says, loading IDE, make sure you are not using an incognito window. Okay, so my next question to Richard would be, okay, are you using an incognito window? And you can I don't know.
I had to find where I'd hid Zoom here. Sorry about that. No, I mean, I'm definitely not using incognito for your software here. And I've even turned off the ad blocker and reloaded.
And still not?
Yeah, still not. It's been that way the whole time. And I've hit the reload a few times.
Which browser are you using?
This is Chrome.
Oh yeah, that it has to work for sure.
I assume it's just me, but
but there's an error indicator to the right of the URL on that screenshot. Do you see that?
Oh.
If you look at the URL and then go all the way to the right, you see the little icons there. That's what Chrome usually pops up when it's blocking something or it's doing something for some reason.
Yeah, I gotcha. Third party key.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. It looks like up there. Yeah, it does look like a pop-up blocker or something like that. It might be getting in the way.
Probably. I just assume it's just me.
No, yeah. I mean, it should not. It should work. It should work. So if you don't mind, Richard, if you want to make me a favor, if you can press this button at the it's a button at the bottom of the screen that says report an error.
Gotcha.
Then if you press this, then it's going to capture a lot of information of your execution right now. So it's and then we give to this first priority. So you will get answer on Monday early morning.
Yeah, don't worry about it because whoever is in here, James or Nathan, did call it out that it's the third-party pop-up or the built-in Chrome pop-up blocker here.
We are not using any information for anything.
Yeah.
No, it's because we don't care about those things, and so it says that is the ad blocker is for some reason.
No, it's not even the ad block. It's the one built into Chrome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that one.
Maybe you think that it triggered on your system though, because it didn't trigger on mine. I'm also using Chrome.
Yeah.
And I'm using Brave also, who has a lot of blockers built in, and have no problem. So that's why if you report as an error in the red button at the bottom, then it's going to capture your situation. So it's going to say which version of Chrome, and then it's going to capture also a full screen, because that's something that happened when people is reporting errors. It's just reporting a small portion of the screen, and that's not enough because the whole screen has a lot of information about what is happening for us.
Yeah.
And it's going to ask you. It's going to ask you
for you.
It's going to ask you permission to capture the whole screen. And then
I just realized something else as well on my system. I was seeing that same icon in the center of that window, but when I actually opened up a folder and clicked to open a file, then it did open the file and replace the icon with the contents of the file. So maybe it's working and it just doesn't look like it's working.
Oh.
For me, certainly the IDE for the file browser was not opening. So, I mean, I think I've ended up about the same place you did, James, but I was, typing in my Python code by hand there in the terminal, which was working.
No, that's not how. That is putting you a lot of more pressure and a lot of more complication. So it's not how it should work.
It's not really, but that's okay. I will report the error for everyone else though.
So Rick, did you answer Nathan's question about the license share today? How long that's available to us?
Yeah, so it will be available until the end of the weekend.
Okay.
So enjoy.
Well, we should probably let Ricardo go here. This has been awesome. It sounds like a lot of you guys have even played with this tool before, so this is really fun. This is a pretty amazing thing that he's created here. So,
well, a lot of people in my team. Well, not that lot, but not that lot because of what we mentioned before. So we cannot have a big team. And then at present we are 14 people, but that counts including marketing people and other stuff. So, for example, we have, if you have some errors in English, if you spot some errors in English, then you can also report, because we have a person from the United States that is checking every unit every time before it's published. So it should be properly corrected, the English. So that's another person of the team that is not developer, for example, and admin and marketing and those things.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to get going here pretty quick myself, but well, thank you so much for presenting this. This has been a blast. I just
thank you very much.
I hope it's been fun for everybody else here, because it should have been fun for me watching this.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure, and I'm very happy now that finally was able to deliver the presentation, because I had some problems on the other time. It was completely my fault. The other time, yeah, I messed it up with the time, and it was my fault. It was completely my fault.
That's all right. Don't be too hard on yourself. You know, we filled the time, no problem. You know, we're good at just talking about robots, so we have a good time.
Let me share my email here with you, just in case that you in the future have some questions about anything, maybe something about robotics, or I don't know, you want some advice about something, then I will be happy to answer you. And also thank you very much for all the feedback that you provided me. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. This was great fun.
Thank you very much.
If in the future you get something new that you would like to share with us, why don't you reach out to the club, Seattle Robotics Society @gmail.com, and we'd love to have you back.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Good note.
All right. So let's see here.
Great. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. So I'm going to have dinner, because here is 9:30, and then in Spain we have dinner so late. Actually, it's not late at all.
Right.
It's not late. It's even yeah. It's okay time. It's okay.
Nice time for dinner.
Yeah.
Have a great dinner. It is a wonderful presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. My pleasure. Bye bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
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 All right. Let's see. Okay. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us here. Like I say, that went on for over an hour and a half. So you guys obviously very much engaged with him. So that was awesome. And I'm really glad that worked out to get him back, especially so soon, because I was looking over his website and it's like, this is really cool stuff. We really need to get this up. So I hope that was interesting for you. And like I say, there are many free resources on that website. So do check those out if that's something that interests you. And you've got sort of extended access here for a couple of days. So if you want to take advantage of that, now's certainly a good time to do that. And with that, anybody got any parting volleys there? Any grenades to throw over the fence here before we shut our meeting down for the month?
Yep, we are shutting down.
Yeah. My wife popped into the background behind me. This background masked her, so you probably didn't see her back there, but she was standing behind me talking to me. So it's like all right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. This has been fun as always. I always enjoy interacting with you guys, and look forward to doing it again next month. And bring your Chat GPT stuff along, because we should have some fun with that. So
it's been generating website content for me for the past week.
Wow. Please share that next month. We'll prepare for 2.5 hour presentation next month.
All right, I've got to get out of here as well. So thank you, everyone, and I'm out of here.
Yep.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and shut down recording here.